one, but you know, you are here now, so let's watch it.
Let's just
Oh, I
yeah,
need a
we can
Discord
take a
stream.
moment for
Yes.
transmission. Yeah.
Eric reminded me like 10 times, and I'm totally, you know, whatever. We're here. Okay. Discord stream is on. All right. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So the sort of main thing that I alluded to earlier about this game, which makes it really interesting, is that a lot of progression and, you know, yeah, pretty much progression is actually in this game not gated behind, let's say, items or things like that, but it's actually gated behind knowledge. And the way they do that is there's these in-game manuals that you can pick up, and they pretty much teach you every kind of mechanic. It's from anywhere as basic as running and sprinting to things like that. So you just see a firecracker appear in my inventory. That's actually one of the later secrets that they teach you, where there's a total of 3 types of bomb in the game, and there's a cheat code you can do once per file to cheat in any of them. So I'm instantly going to cheat in a dynamite to blow up this bush, and then equip the firebomb.
I take except use the word cheat, man.
Yeah, it's that's true.
Sorry, we're gonna Konami our way some bombs into our inventory. Is that better?
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, these are all just a Konami code, right? It's that easy.
Yep. I mean, actually, I think there's one Konami code, right, for the doors. Was that it? No, it's not. Never mind.
No way.
All
No
good.
way.
All good.
There's one door
down,
that's
down,
very
down.
close to Konami.
Yeah. Anyway, what I did there is I
Left, right.
throw the firebomb to burn the bushes so that I can safely make my way over to this teleporter. The teleporter, as you might expect, also a mechanic that you know, you're not really supposed to know until later. But that's kind of the beauty of this game. Once you know it, and you know these things, the game ends up being very, very open-ended. Even like outside of speedrunning, let's say, even like your second casual playthrough, you would know all these things, and you know, can really sort of come up with your own routing. For now, we're gonna make our way into the ruined atoll where I grabbed the first bonfire. This is sort of a pretty late game area, and as you might have noticed, you know, I don't really have anything right now. I have 2 firecrackers, and that's really it. I don't have a sword, most notably. Luckily, we don't really intend to do the area here. We're just going to do one sub area called the Flux domain, and again, we're very much under equipped. You're supposed to be leveled up by now, but yeah, we only have quick business here. Actually, in Order we used to go through the entire Flux domain and get some items, most notably some money and a damage upgrade. Now we do a cool little skip I'm going to show in a second.
There's a sword in this game.
There sure is.
But you're just supposed to use a stick the entire time.
You know, Spirialis tried that, and I don't think you can actually, from what I heard.
One of the bosses is immune to the stick.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a dynamite here to aggro this guy, and then he can actually tongue me down here. This is supposed to be sort of a preview area where later on you can actually backtrack to that little, what is it called, like the balcony I was on there. But yeah, you can just kind of force yourself down here like that. And now I'm gonna die for a death warp, which is gonna be a common theme. And actually talking about death being a common theme, first time you die, there's like this little like cutscene sequence. It, you know, loses like 40 seconds or 30 seconds. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna blow my ass up again.
If I may interject for a second, so that quick skip you did to get right to the item in the frog's domain there. So I literally tried to do what you did so much during development, and I couldn't make it work. I was talking to TGH, he kind of gave me the skinny on the nuance of it. So I'm so pleased that it is possible, because I really wanted it to be possible. That's excellent.
Yeah, you have to like...
You could replace Tunic with Celeste there, and I wouldn't have noticed the difference.
You have to kind of hold right, like, it's a bit weird, but yeah. That's funny though. I heard you talk about that in the IGN thing.
Yeah, I was being
Replace
too static.
Okay.
Tunic with Celeste and Monster Skip with 4A Fast Heart. It's
So
the same conversation, right?
pretty much. So what I did there, by the way, is getting into Westgarden early. So what I haven't talked about, so this magic op that we picked up, very important item, sort of actually required item, and it allows you to hook towards things. And then what I did is I hooked towards the little tower, and in mid-air used an effigy. An effigy is actually just an item that sort of gives you some money, but what it does do is it tries to like ground you, and by doing that, it sort of first looks, if you try, like, if the game forces you to ground you in the air, it sort of first checks around you if there's any ground to like force you on, and if not, it just falls you
Hi,
down.
Kevin.
Yeah, those Crocs are Kevin's, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, it's a little bit sussy, but hopefully
look
works
out.
Let's preach.
Oh my god.
Why did you
Kevin?
kill Kevin?
Kevin almost 1v1'd OddBod from Tim and the OddBods.
Very true.
Yeah, worth just mentioning is this project was a much less of a Kevin did 99% of the audio. It was very much more of a team effort. So I did like more like 60%ish, and yeah,
Nice.
so a lot of the enemies are me, but a lot was like Cole here at Power Up and Craig and such. So but yes, those are Kevin's apparently. I can't stop it no matter any game otherwise.
You can't stop it. You started it.
Alright, so I just kind of did like a little skip there where I not cheated, I Konami'd in the final bump, the ice bump. And there's a little set there you can throw it to freeze that guy, and then one mechanic with the magic orbs, if you hook to a frozen enemy, you actually hook towards them rather, hook them towards you. So now, to sort of talk about the progression in the game, again, I kind of forced myself into West Garden with that little skip. Normally, the way you would play this game the first time is you would first go into East Garden and get a sword there. Luckily, in West Garden, they actually placed a sword for us, a secondary sword, which is very nice. We got that. And in East Garden, there's a bell, and then after West Garden here, there's also a bell that you're supposed to ring to open the door to the final temple. We're going to skip all of that. You're actually going to see the bell in a second on the screen, I'll point it out. And that is sort of the first, let's say, act of the game. Also, one notable thing, of course, the reason why we do West Garden skip is because, or skip into West Garden is normally there's a huge endeavor to it. There's 2 entire areas you're supposed to play, Dark Tomb and I think the Beneath the Wall is what it's called. We skipped all of that with this little skip I did over in this section. And yeah, here in the top right you can see the bell, by the way, that I mentioned. So in West Garden normally, again, there's a boss sort of guarding your way to this spell. As I said, we're not really interested in that. What we did do is we picked up the Ice Dagger. That's the sort of main reason why we went there. And it is a very useful item that allows us to freeze enemies. Normally costs a ton of mana, but in a second I'll talk about something where pretty much it will become very useful for both boss fights and for roading. For now we actually are into Dark Tomb, which is the area I said we would skip. Or we skipped going through doing the West Garden skip. We are not going to go through this again, no reason to, but there is one item here we're really interested in, and as you might see, it's a bit scary in here. So you're supposed to have a lantern to see stuff. We don't. So I have to kind of just... Oh my god, where is it? Where is... No. Oh, I might die here. I am very much dead. I'll try. If I don't die here, this will be the sickest recovery of all time, but... It's okay though if I die, it's not that big of a deal. Again, this area is very scary.
I'm in danger.
Oh, I dodged 2 of them, but not the third. That's okay, not a big deal.
Nice try.
So yeah, that area was very scary. You saw me do one quit out. The reason I quit out there is because I messed up the first part. In the first part, there's sort of these floor spikes, and again, you can't see anything. So there's a little setup I do to, get through there, but, I messed it up. So I straight and quit out, which puts me back into the door, or the last time I either saved or loaded into a zone. And then, yeah, I'll just try it again, but yeah. It's very hard, but at least now I lit those 2 thingies, those 2 skulls. They open up a segway, and that thing, or not a segway, what am I talking about? A pathway. And at least that pathway stays open, so I should be able to go through here just fine this time around, but yeah. Bit unfortunate, that part is probably the scariest part of the run, or one of the 2 scary parts of the run, so...
Yeah,
I might ride a Segway on a pathway.
Yeah, hop in that segue, dude. Yeah, I realized I was rewatching the devs react thing with IGN, and it occurred to me that neither Andrew or myself even acknowledged the fact it was lanternless to get in here, because it was just so damn smooth that we didn't even realize they couldn't see where they were going. So, yeah, that was certainly something we thought people would probably go for eventually. We're like, this will not be fun, but they're gonna do it because they're crazy, and here we are.
Yeah, luckily in this run we only do that. I think in some of the other routes, I think for the glitches run, there's another section where there's also dark, and they go entirely through that, through the entire area.
That's a big fire stick.
Sure is.
Yeah. We actually made it easy at the lantern fast. So I don't know if you guys have found that yet or not.
We have, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Like the kind of the grapple through the ground to the portal, or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was that didn't used to be possible. We made it possible, and then now of course you just skip it entirely. But that's kind of a big part of this. We're just trying to make a lot of options available, and it worked out pretty well. I don't know.
I agree. You did. So.
I want to
no, go ahead.
Another thing too. The last thing is the Konami code thing, the ice flask you got and the firecracker. Worth mentioning is you only get one of those per run. So that was kind of an interesting speedrun routing thing. It was like, well, where are you going to use it? You get one. You know, do you
Yeah.
these here or to freeze enemy or what? Yeah.
Yeah, we actually used all 3 of them, and like pretty much all of them are very crucial usage. So it's very scary. I'm actually very glad we're kind of in the less scary part of the run now, especially with some of the adjustments I will make. The first part of this run is very scary because if I mess up anything with the consumables, well, now I'm out of the consumables, so I can't do the route anymore. So I'm glad that all worked out my way. We're gonna do a big skip here, by the way, coming up. So this is the quarry, which is pretty much one of the last area of the second act, let's say.
Can you think of a volume warning here?
They nerfed it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We nerfed it. Oh my god. Yeah, that was so you want to explain the skip first? Go for it. I'll talk about that in a second.
Yep, I'll go for it. So what I did there is I hooked the guy, and then I used a combination of both the ice dagger and the fire rod. So the way that works is you press them at the same time, and pretty much it takes both properties. Most notably, the fire rod costs way less mana, and of course the projectile. So I hook him and then freeze him in mid-air, and then, as I said earlier, if you hook onto something that's frozen, you don't hook them towards you, but rather the other way around. So I hook down there, and that skips the entirety of this area, saves a ton of time.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that was again something we actively decided to leave in. I think we first discovered that going into the cathedral and dropping down the shaft of the elevator there, and then realized like should we make this not possible? But we totally leave that one in. On the audio front though, yeah, the sound of the kind of the void corruption.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a complete oversight, of course. I setting that void stuff up in audio, like technically, was an absolute nightmare. It was crazy to structure it to make it work.
Oh.
And I ended up like bypassing the option sliders functionality. So yeah, neither cutscene SFX nor the corruption like bit crushing stuff was even being affected by the master or SFX sliders. But I kind of thought it was funny because like, the entire point of that sound is to be like, hey, you shouldn't be here, player. And the player like goes in the options menu to like turn it down. It's like, no, you can't turn it down. Just leave. Just leave.
Yeah, so that's
now.
No, go ahead.
It's just fixed. No sweat.
This poison is kind of loud. I'm gonna turn it down real quick.
Yes, that trades your max HP, by the way. Gladly, that's the last thing we'll see of it because somebody has an item to prevent that, but we already passed it. So we're actually now on the cigarette. This little skip I'm gonna do here, hopefully. We can shoot this thing from the other side so that we can go over this bridge. That's supposed to be a shortcut to go the other way. And coming up is a little mini-boss. This is where the dynamite comes in handy. Normally you actually only have 3 here, but I have 4 because I did something a little slow, let's say. Pretty much a dead warp, but it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about it. And we're just gonna blow the first phase up, and now the second phase. This is very foreshadowing of future boss fights. We're just gonna do this. So again, the ice rod kind of combination, very OP. It freezes enemies, and most notably, it doesn't cost any mana. Normally, you only have like 2 or 3 freezes. This way, you have I think 16 with full magic. So yeah, we can just kind of do that, and then we make our way down this sort of first half of the ziggurat, the tower. Again, this is supposed to be like the last area of the second act. We're very much not supposed to be here, but gladly we don't have much business to actually fight stuff. There's a lot of things we can cheese, you know, such as that mini-boss or the final boss, as we'll see later. Actually, coming up is something, yeah. Do you want to talk about it, Kevin, or?
Yeah, well, it depends how you're doing it. Are you doing it the clip down version?
I do it the TGH way, so it's the clip way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the community even know another way to do it yet?
I don't, there's a different way to set up the clip, I think, with keyboard, but there's no other way to do it, I think.
Like the clipless method.
No. Oh, clipless. Interesting. Leading on to more facts here.
I was aware of this like little weirdness in that corner. I couldn't actually fall down. All I can get was like what's happening to you there prior to the fall, mind you. Nice. There. I couldn't get that fall to work, so I was like, it's probably possible, but like I don't know, it doesn't seem very reliable. But hey, I'm not a person who studies setups and stuff. So I don't know. Should I share the actual method?
I mean, if you want to. Go ahead. Although this might be some stuff I never want to talk about, but yeah. Maybe later. I guess I'll just catch up to commentary if you don't mind. So what I did there pretty much is skip the entire. Oh, like this it's supposed to be like an auto-scroller section with an elevator. And yeah, we can just kind of skip that. And the reason we can skip that is because they actually intended us to do that. So the devs put down a little loading zone there that we can barely reach that way. And yeah, that skips pretty much I think like 40-50 seconds of auto-scroller. Come up here is a little mini-boss fight that you would normally fight in your first playthrough, but you can kind of just do this. This is 2 pillar guys. Again, normally you should kill them, but we can freeze them, and after freeze, they always do the same attack, so we have just enough time to activate this pillar, which is actually sort of the end goal. And I think now you have time if you want to talk about the thing. Sorry to interrupt.
Have a listen. The boss music stays, but it fades out.
Oh.
Because you leave the boss fight behind. We
Oh.
saw this coming, dude. I like the idea that like, this just fades out. It's like, yeah, it's still happening without you. It's fine. Just leave the party behind. Okay, so the method, this is a world premiere, okay?
Oh.
The method that we quote-unquote intended for that skip is that you stand near an edge and die, and your corpse falls off. It hits the loading zone, and then you hard stop the app in the next loading zone when you enter. And then when you reload, like Alt F4, and then when you reload the game's like, oh, what's the last thing that happened? Like when you press continue, it says, what's the last thing that happened? Either a save point or the bed or a room entry, like a scene entry. And it doesn't care if you're alive or not. It just thinks what was the last thing that happened. So you'll fall into the scene in a like 0 health state, but alive.
Very interesting. Ha! I want to see that happen. I'll try that right after this.
Only on CelesteCommunity.
Labbing on the fly.
For Archie, you know.
There we go.
Yeah,
Almost
do it.
missed it. Oh, get down. What? Dude, I have never seen that happen. Anyway, here's a scavenger boss actually. We can just do what I did there normally. Again, very late fight, very much underleveled, but what we can do is what I just did, which is you aggro him from behind the area, and then there's either an attack you can do, or you can just freeze him, and after that you can hook him like that, and he enters the death plane. And actually now I want to talk about one sort of major route diversion I did actually this time around. Normally we wouldn't grab any saves in the ziggurat, which is by far the scariest area to begin with. And we would therefore right after that boss to Atoll. Very not marathon safe. If you die there somewhere you lose like 7 minutes. So that's why I did what I did, and we're just gonna teleport here. It doesn't lose that much time. I just wanted to point it out because normally actually this bonfire right here is A, the first one we're gonna pick and run, and B, the second to last one. So that's a very cool sort of thing in the main route, but again, I kind of did that for marathon safety.
Yeah.
What the? Where's the guy?
Too far away, dude.
Hello.
Okay.
He's keen to your antics.
There we go. Yeah, anyway, what we did there after that boss, by the way, pick up the little blue hexagon thing, and I talked about sort of the game structure briefly before, and how you can kind of divide it into 3 acts. First act being, you know, activate the bells, and now the second act is what we're currently on. Now that we have the 3 items that we want, which are, you know, magic ball, ice, and fire, is you just have to get the 3 keys, which you insert into the temple, that, again, you get after the first act, let's say. And, yeah, that's what we're doing. So there's one section and a boss guarding each of them. We got the... Normally you're actually supposed to do them pretty much in reverse of what we're gonna do. Normally you just do the scavenger last, and this one second, and the one we're gonna do last first. But yeah, it's pretty open, so you can also do that different ways in casual.
Are you gonna do the quick kill for this upcoming boss?
No. I'll talk about that later, I guess. Yeah. There's a quick kill for librarian that Scott is alluding to. I'll talk about that. Because that's the other major thing I'm going to change for this route, just for marathon safety. But yeah, for now in Atoll, it's leading up to, yeah, a set boss, and just pretty much like a square looking section where at each corner of the square there's one of these pillars, and we have to activate them all to, you know, get access to a set area. And actually, I guess now's a good time to talk about sort of the one other major non-marathon safe thing of this run. As I talked about, sort of 3 acts to the game, I would say. The second one being the one that we're currently in, and then the third one would come after an intended death to the final boss. We're gonna skip that. The problem with that is that we have to kill the final boss later on sort of base stats. Again, normally there's a level up mechanic in this game. We don't gonna do that. And the game also tries very hard to not make you be able to kill that boss on the first time. It pretty much locks you out of any way to increase your damage. It resets all your stats, even if you were to level up to base stats. But luckily, there's exactly one way in which it does allow you to level or to increase your damage, which is RTSR, which is actually something I don't think we talked about yet, because yeah, we're busy about other stuff. But that's the one item I got in Dark Tomb earlier. It's a ring that you equip. I think originally called the Orange Peril Ring in the game. Oh wait, what? I didn't equip it. Don't mind this. It's right here. Now we have it equipped. Don't worry about it. I also forgot to do something else. I'm not smart. It's okay. We do that again. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. But yeah, that's the thing we picked up in Dark Tomb, and it's, yeah. In the game, I think it's called Orange Power Ring. In the fights, actually, it's called ARCHIETHON, which when I first saw that, I jumped out of my chair. I was so excited. Because this game writes its Dark Souls influences all over it. And it was very cute to see it sort of confirmed. So ARCHIETHON, if you don't know what it is, it's a item in Dark Souls called the Red Tearstone Ring, which increases your damage when you're at low HP. And yeah, in the game files itself in this game is also called, not even like, you know, the thing, it's called the abbreviation, the ARCHIETHON, which I think is awesome.
Right, it's called Ring Around the Rosie.
So, yeah, we're gonna use that to kill the final boss and hopefully deal enough damage to kill him even on the first time around, and that will skip the entirety of the third act. If I die there, I pretty much have to load a save, because if you die to the final boss, you have to play the third act at least a little bit, which would lose anywhere to... I haven't timed it, but let's say 5 or 6 minutes, something outlandish like that. Yeah, so that's gonna be the rest of the run, just getting done the second act, and then hopefully skipping the third act by killing the final boss in the first time. So Scott was mentioning something earlier about a quick kill for the upcoming boss called the Librarian. There's actually 2 ways to do it. Pretty much, he's like on top of this tower, and there's a kill plane that spawns after you aggro him, and you can barely get below that kill plane with 2 methods we found so far. One is literally RNG, the other one is very inconsistent and just I could not get to work. So again, this is the other major thing I'm going to do differently for this run. I'm just going to do it the sort of old-fashioned way, which again, very much foreshadowing of what's going to happen later, is just kind of free cycling him. So there's actually something I have to be a little bit careful here. If you played the game, you would know that if you do a triple attack, the sort of last attack is a stab animation, and it plays a different animation, of course, and also deals more damage. If you do that on frozen enemies, they behave like it behaves slightly different. So it usually allows you to do that triple combo, and then it kind of pushes you away. So actually, I'm consciously trying to avoid that, because that will make it so that I can't properly refreeze him. So I always do this sort of 1-1-2 pattern, and yeah, that way he cannot escape this freeze lock, luckily, and we have just enough magic to make it work.
That's interesting you say the quick kill isn't consistent, because I like to get a video cap of the way I do it and see if it's something to actually be more...
I would love to see it, Kevin, actually. You said something on the IGN video about a strat that you have, and I could not get it to work with the grapple, by the way. I tried so hard, I could not figure it out. I would love to see you do it.
Yeah, sorry, I cough, 1 second. Ugh. Yeah, it makes me wonder if something changed, like if something got patched, and I didn't realize it in the interim, but...
It might have. Because I could not reach him with the grapple from... You can grapple him from above and then get to the first ladder, so you can get below the first ladder, but I could not grapple him from below and get below the second.
Right. Yeah, there's like a moment in time during the retrieve of the grapple, like the return, where you can do things. Like because on the way out, you can't do anything while it's happening, but like on the way back, you can. There's like a frame or two. And I think that's where I was like dodging back to climb a ladder or something. I'll have a look.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. By the way, there's something funny I want to point out again. In the normal any percent round, the bonfire I just took is, funnily enough, it's supposed to be the first in the game. In the any percent round, it would be the second one we picked at all, and actually, you know, the last one we would pick. Connect to a little thing. So we will, after Librarian, we death warp to the April bonfire. Now we grab this one, and we'll again, of course, death warp to that, as you might expect. We're now going to go over to the final boss and the third, or not the final boss, to the third boss of the second act. Again, normally Ray's supposed to be the first one. He will drop the final key over here in East Fortress. Actually, something I did there with the little free skip there again, that skips quite a bit. It actually skips like this whole cave section, where normally again you would need the lantern. So yeah, you can just freeze that guy and go over here into the fortress. And talking about lantern, actually, I'm going to do something that looks slightly weird here. So actually, for some reason, if you don't have lantern, it just does not allow you to target in this specific room, because I guess they expected you to have it. So I do a little setup there to just make this a bit more easy and consistent, and be able to push to that door. So that's one of the other quirks, and one that we will also use later of the whole freeze thing, is you can do, that pretty much. Every time you hook something that's frozen, it kind of puts you in their place and pushes them slightly forward. And that way you can push them through doors and then, hook behind them. So that's how we can go through that door. And now here, Siege Engine, normally this boss is very, very tanky and also very scary, but luckily there's a cycle to just kill him. Concentrate a little bit. So he has 2 sort of hit zones. One is his face, and one is his core like this. Core normally in the fight very hard to reach. You deal more damage to it. But if we just kind of start out this whole lock from behind him with the strat, then we can just kind of stun lock him here. Keep doing 2 triple combos, and you know, in the amount he staggers, you can do another one and stagger him again.
Really good fight.
Quick
I've
note
never
on-
seen that strat.
on that freezing through doors thing, like flipping through walls, etc. So Andrew actually asked me, he's like, so if players do this, should we like have that door be open for them on the way out? I'm like, Andrew, if players are doing this, they know what they're doing. They're gonna have a way out. Don't worry.
That's cute.
No one's like gonna flip through by accident and be like, oh no, now what? You know. So, and of course you have a way out. Do that save point. You know.
Yeah, but it's funny that you say that actually. If I did not, if you somehow have no means to die here, I'm gonna do a death warp here with dynamite. If you somehow don't have means to die here, you literally hardlock your save. So it's funny that you say that. If I didn't die here, my save would be hardlocked.
Yeah, because players like they know what they're getting into. Is all
Yeah,
it is, right?
that's
It's like,
true.
They realize a risk is being taken, and the worst case scenario is their way out is to restart the game. It's okay.
Okay, so that was we got the final and third key of the game, which again sort of ends the second act. Oh, well, and the way we end the second act is we insert them into this temple. So this door right here, the golden door, this would normally be open if we ring the 2 bells. Again, we're just going to do the same method here to get into it. Just freeze this guy and grab him a bunch of times. And now in here we're just going to insert the 3 keys, which unlocks the final boss. And yeah, that's pretty much then close to the end of the game.
A lot of cutscene coming up, so donations are probably good, right?
Yeah, so a lot of long animations here for each key. Luckily we can skip the last one at least.
Yeah, while we have the time, I want to point out that we are at $1,761. Now, if we want to compare that to last year, at this point we were at $1,409. So our pace, if you want to math it out, is roughly 25% faster than last year. So we're on pace for our goals for this marathon. So I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of all of us for having made it this far. I want to say I would like to get at least to 1,800 before we end stream today. So if anyone can pitch in a little bit more before the end of the stream, I would absolutely appreciate that. So have a little bit of spare change laying around, you know. Give me your 2 cents.
Gotta empty out the piggy bank. Hold on.
I'll do it right here, guys. Here, I'll do the
Throwing
piggy bank.
money at my computer monitor. Do a Pizzacco.
So
How
yeah,
much
I'm
did
gonna...
the whole event raise last year?
The whole event last year, give me just 1 second.
Don't worry about it. So just before you go that, I'm supposed to die here, I messed it up, sorry. Normally you would death warp out here, it's okay, and it would skip this cutscene, but yeah, nothing major, just would skip this cutscene with the death.
Runs over.
Oh yeah, quite literally.
Last year we raised $8,298, so
Okay, yeah, nice.
pretty good.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that, I also
Good
just
fight,
woke up and I'm a
Mom.
bit sick, and I don't really have a mute button.
Then are we into air soon?
Yes, actually right now, so I'll, again, this is actually what we grabbed the mana berries for earlier, as an item we picked up in the cigarette. Refreshes your mana, is a one-time use item, which this sucks. Let's try again. Not supposed to aggro these guys. And yeah, I'll probably pretty much just a free cycle on him with the RTSR setup, and again RTSR being the only reason we deal any damage at all pretty much to that guy. The doubles our damage, but normally we'll only do 6, so yeah. I'll probably concentrate for the run, or for the fight, just so I don't fuck up. If you guys have anything to talk about, feel free. I will probably shut up.
So Kevin mentioned to me when this game was new that using up all your stamina and doing the 0 stamina dodge roll is fast. Has that been like looked at?
If we've looked at it, it's not anymore, at least.
Oh, it's not.
At least from what we could tell. Maybe there's some forbidden knowledge, but
All right.
I've timed it on the long walk to Scav, and it was the same amount of time.
Interesting. Interesting. That surprises me.
Trihex messed up in his calculations.
I did it with the dashing, right? With the the little hops. I don't know if you just run. Maybe it's faster. I don't know. Okay, just on pace. We kind of just have enough magic for actually doing this recycle the entire way through, so not much chance to miss stuff here.
Now it's purple. Believe me, when the air breaks out of this stun lock, that purple's gonna hurt.
It does.
Just building up its power.
Okay. Whew.
When's time?
Yeah, time is right now actually.
Time!
Not that.
Good that you asked.
I've done better runs before, and again, we lose a bunch of time with the stuff that I changed for the marathon, but I'm very happy that I didn't have to load a save at least. Because again, if we die at any point, especially in the early game,
that's
we're
barely
here.
overestimate, so nice job.
Oh, okay.
That's like 30-15.
Nice. Okay.
I'm so disappointed.
No, it's... it's morning here in Germany, so if I sound energyless or anything like that, that's why. I kind of just woke up.
29:59, yay! 30:01, no.
Alright, yeah, I don't know what else to talk about really, so again, end of the game here, pretty much final cutscene.
GG.
If you want to take the opportunity to go back and see if you can replicate that death warp on stream before we head off.
Oh, we could try that, yeah, that'd be funny.
Do it live.
Let's do it live!
Live.
Fuck it, let's do it live! Let's do it live! I love that clip.
While we're watching this cutscene, I'll say we have a $7.27 donation from Anonymous with the comment funny number.
When you see it, oh,
thank
I
you
get
for
it.
that funny
Really
number.
funny number.
Oh, that
That's a
reference
pretty
is
funny
so
number,
good.
I will say.
I'd
OddBod,
like
did
to
you
see
get that
more
reference?
of those funny numbers, so I
OddBod,
can
did you
get more
get
of
it?
the references.
I get it. I get it so much. Scott Evans fight. I get it so much you wouldn't believe it. I am an awesome
on,
player. I'm an awesome player, believe it or not.
I'm gonna explain it for you so that you get it.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, by the way, before you do that, look at this guy in his
Just-
credits.
Also,
Oh wow,
just
who's
that
that?
guy in the
Kevin
credits.
Reckoning?
Who could that be?
They appreciate the pronunciation. It's nice, thank you. Rigging me, nailed it.
That is right, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, good. I was scared for a second after I said it. Like, wait, I'm pretty sure that was right. But...
I think that's the point to
I-
admit that I was scared to say, like, to fuck it up earlier. That's why I only said Kevin at the
Today I
start.
learned. Today I learned.
It's the case, like, I do, like game conferences and people like get my card. They're like, oh my god, Regami, so cool, games in your name, Regami. Like,
That's
be
right.
fair, to be
I'm the
fair, in
gamer.
context, I can totally understand them wanting to make that connection.
I found yesterday, by the way,
But
it's
we
somewhere...
$31.05 left, by the way, if anyone wants to drop that in.
Oh, berries also in here. I realized it's literally yesterday.
Yep, it's the same. It's our Noel. I asked about that when I did this casual. It's the same game. Huzzah. Good game. How much has the other categories of this game been played yet?
I think people have... So there's somebody who came up with a sort of no-skip category, which they played and some other people caught on to. Where pretty much they intentionally don't skip the final act and it's part of the routing and they do, you know, glitches category. So that's a little bit popular. And then the other thing was true ending, which quite a few people have played. And I think one person has done some 100% runs.
100% side. This is a beast of a category.
Yeah, I think the time is already
What even
pretty
makes
good.
up-
It's like
What
130.
even
or
makes up
something.
Hundo?
I don't know. I think like they get pretty much every collectible and upgrade their stats as much as you can in a single playthrough.
It's
Something
a,
of that nature.
that's a 2-monitor go home kind of category. Or, you know, tons of sticky notes.
we weren't sure like what kind of categories would spring up. It's kind of cool to see it. It's been cool seeing some folks' ideas like all relics and stuff.
Yo, how do you have that much magic?
This is a file that I got from... Who gave it to me?
Yeah, what can
cheated
is
file.
that? My god.
I want to shout out the name real quick. Who was it again? Oh, Silent Destroyer, right. Thanks for
You
that.
guys just haven't solved enough puzzles. That's how much magic you get.
It's like... Is it any ledge, Kevin, I wonder? Oh, because like my first instinct would be to go to that edge, to the ledge that like is for some reason missing the lights, but I don't think it's that one just because it's this one, right? Which is not right next to the ground. Let's say.
Here's the issue, pal. So with this death warp thing, there is a timer that counts down when you kill yourself, and it's possible to like fall off the edge really efficiently when you're dead. But typically you kind of fall forward and there's like a brief moment where you like kind of are on your knees, on your stomach, and then like boom, now you're off the edge. So if you fall from really high up, you're falling for a longer distance, and the game might hit the timer to reset and go to the save point before it gets through the transition. So the transition, the portal, like the scene entry exit is quite near the bottom, kind of like the broken path that goes nowhere. So like it's near it in altitude, vertically, right? So it's like I could do it first try every time from there, but it's possible you could do it from higher up. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
So I think the area of the I don't know, like the volume that you can touch to transition to what we call Ziggurat 3, like kind of the pink zone.
Yeah.
It's kind of like large and square. It like just touches the two near corners of the tower that you're near right now. But it's like very easy to hit. You just fall off the edge right where you are.
So I just do it right here, let's say.
Fall off, then wait for the next scene to start coming in, and Alt F4.
Okay, I'll try.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
I have a donation for that I believe is meant for you to read if you can manage it. If you can't, no worries. Do you think you could try one for me?
Is it in like the Discord or what?
Here, I DM'd you. The
Jeez, okay.
Oh.
I'll try not to cough midway.
If you can't, it's fine. I'll try my best to do an impression.
I honestly don't think I can right now. It's gonna be painful.
Okay, it's fine. We've got $32 from Math Hacker with the comment. Kevin, 2018.
Oh! Oh, wait. My OBS didn't call onto the game yet, but we did it, guys. Interesting.
Oh?
Huh.
Do we have a visual?
Yeah,
The stream died, so we don't see it.
Yeah, I see it now on the CelesteCommunity stream.
Yeah, I loaded in too quick, sorry. But yeah, I pretty much just said that autofort and then... Huh. I wonder if that's gonna be useful for us just because of what's... Oh no, it doesn't mess with the death thingy-magic, right? It wouldn't actually mess with the...
It's not as exactly. So I was thinking about that because I was like, this is probably more reliable than the clip, but if you can get the clip fast, that's probably better, right? So it's many options.
It's also that we would need another dynamite, which I mean we could not use it on the pillar guy buff, but then we only have 2 for him. Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't you have an extra one this run?
Yeah, I had an extra on this one, but that was because normally you blow yourself up when you get Ice Dagger. I just didn't do that because, again, slide marathon safety and only loses like 5 seconds. Just go up to the crocodile and die there instead.
Yeah, so I originally found you could do that by getting into like beneath the well at nighttime, like after you die to the air.
Oh!
Because there's no ladder there, and it's a tighter window. Like you almost need to Alt F4. Like, I mean, it's probably a system dependent thing too, but on my system, which is like not a bad machine, it's I mean, I was Alt F4ing like during blackness, so probably within like a fraction of a second for it to work.
Interesting.
And I'd have no idea if it worked every time. I come back in, and I got to work like 1 in 7 tries kind of thing, right? But then all y'all found ladder storage and got in that way instead. So I was like, all right, this doesn't matter at all. So we put in this skip, and I was like, oh, you know what? This is actually a good place to like use this cool thing we found, and didn't have it used for. So yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
All is revealed.
I see $2,000 raised for ARCHIETHON.
Yeah, we have a $200 donation, which
Money.
the person who's here, it's marked as anonymous. I'm not sure if it was intentionally marked as anonymous, so if you're here and you want to clarify that, go ahead and clarify it, and I will thank you. But otherwise, $200 with the comment, much love, pals.
Oh, that was
Thank you
me.
so much. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was asking. All right, thank you so much, Kevin, for the $200 to bring us to $2,000 for day one.
Yeah,
that's a huge
Evan.
increase.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
I was gonna do 100, and then the skip worked. I was like, yeah, I'll double it.
First try.
Wait, do it again.
Tim doesn't miss those.
Huh? Sorry, what? I was a bit checked out.
Tim, do it again. Do it again.
The what?
No,
Do the
let's
do the
let's not pressure Kevin.
Oh. I'm a bit confused right now. Sorry, guys. I'm still groggy.
It's okay, buddy. That's what the OddBods are for.
So true. Thank you guys so much. We're supposed to find a time, by the way. I forgot to mention. Use IGT.
I think it was 30:15.
Yeah, I'm saying this is the final IGT time, by the way.
Oh, stream delay.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Discord streamed that because I auto fought. Because Kevin
What's
told
your
me.
What's your PB, OddBod?
I haven't really done serious runs in a while, but my PB is I think a high 24, but it doesn't have the ziggurat skip yet. And
Okay, cool.
all right. Thank you guys very much for helping me
Alright,
commentate. Thanks for people who put on this marathon. And other than that, I don't think I have anything to say. So if you guys have anything to say, go.
Yeah.
And otherwise,
Thanks so much, Kevin, for the
Hey.
donation and for being here.
yeah. Thanks for the last minute addition.
Thanks for the featuring of this relatively new game and for all the work you've already done to tear this thing apart in such a short amount of time. It's very inspiring as always. And yeah, I'm glad I could be here as even like the husk of a man I am right now. So that'll work out.
That's a husk has a lot more substance to it than most other filled husks do.
Oh, cheers, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna go the hell to bed. So
Yeah,
Have a good recovery.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for
enjoy
being
your
here.
much deserved rest.
okay, thanks all. Later.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Bye.
And also, of course, thank you, Tim, for a wonderful run, and thanks for popping in, being here, and of course, Evan's Fight and Squeal for the commentary as well.
Yay.
I was just vibing.
So,
Tim was going off.
so true. Special shouts to Squeal.
It's kind of gutter.